Alright guys, welcome back. So this video is talking about how to use the matrix function on a graphing calculator. So you can see the word matrix right there in blue with this spun x to the negative first. So since it's in blue, we're going to hit second matrix to get into there. And you can see I've got a bunch of things already going on because I've used this multiple times. So for most of you, you'll probably have blank matrices. So the first one, there won't be any of these like, 3 by 3, 2 by 4, all that kind of stuff next to it. So to create a matrix, after you enter, you can go over to Edit. And you're going to select your first matrix. So this is currently a 3 by 3 I've already used. We're going to go ahead and create this matrix, which has 3 rows and 2 columns. So it's going to be 3 by 2. So if you mix up those numbers and you meant to do, like, say you thought it was 2 by 3, you'll see they won't match everything exactly. So just switch the numbers around. But again, first number is the number of rows. Second number is the number of columns. So we're just going to fill in the numbers here. So it's a 4, then a negative 1, then a 2. And you're seeing as we hit enter, it just moves us right and then down, right and then down, kind of going down the list. And then we have an 8, negative 9, and a 7. So that's all we got to do to create a matrix. You just do second x negative first. That's our matrix spun. Scroll over to Edit. And then you just create the size you want and just fill the numbers into the matrix itself. Now we're going to talk about a bunch of different operations with these matrices. That'll be the next couple examples coming up. So let's take a look at multiplication next. All right, so for this one, we're going to create 2 different matrices and we're going to multiply them together to show the matrix multiplication works. We talked about how to multiply this by hand in our matrix multiplication operation video in the pre-calculus class. So we go ahead and go back into our matrix, second matrix. You'll see I cleared all of them this time, so we just kind of create our own ones. So we go over to Edit. Matrix A will be our first matrix, which we'll see is 2 rows and 3 columns. So it's a 2 by 3. And then replacing all the zeros with our negative 3, 1, negative 5. And then our 1, 4, 6. So that's our matrix A. We're going to quit out of there and then go back into matrix to now edit and create matrix B, which has 3 rows and 1 column. So we'll just do 7, 1, and 2 to create that one. So we go ahead and quit out of here, and we're going to go do the first matrix times the second. So it's back into the matrix, only this time we select matrix A and then multiply that by, again, back into the matrix B, and then gets our answer, which you would find if you multiply that by hand, getting your negative 30, 23. Now, the order does matter, so if we did go it in the other way around, I hit second matrix, we did matrix B first, times matrix A. This one gives us our dimension error because we recognize that in that case, 3 by 1 multiplied with the 2 by 3 does not match up. So it cannot do it for us. So this is also what you'll get on the screen if the matrices can't multiply together. Give you some sort of error message of some kind. Depending what kind of error message depends on the calculator. Might just be a standard error message, might be a little more involved, just depends. All right, so the order you do, the order does matter when you're doing this. So we're going to go ahead and create another matrix and kind of just see how that one goes. All right, so we can see with this matrix pair, again, we're going to get another error message with this one, definitely, because we can see this one has 1 row, 3 columns. The other one's a 2 by 2, so it's definitely not going to match. Again, just practicing entering our matrices. So we're going to make this one, we'll just do it on top of A. We can make new matrices by kind of like just using on top of the other if we're not going to reuse that same matrix in the past. So again, we have... not 3, sorry, it'll be a 1 by 3. And then so we have our 4, negative 1, and positive 5. We quit out to then go back into matrix B. This one is going to be a 2 by 2. So it's going to be our 1, negative 9, negative 3. Oops, that should be negative 3, not negative 6. There we go, negative 3. Then negative 6. So we quit out, and again, we want to multiply matrix A times B, the first one, times our second one, Again, we already know it's not going to work because it's not the order. Even if we switch order around, it's going to give us an error mismatch. So again, that's always the message we get with that kind of stuff. So that's your multiplication. If you're allowed to use the calculator for that, or you can use it to kind of check your work when you're doing it by hand to make sure you did everything there correctly. So next up, we're going to be talking about the idea of determinants, and we can use that to find really the size of any matrix. We'll get into that one for the next one. So again, we talked about 2x2 determinants by hand in the matrix operation determinants, Cramer's rule videos. 3x3 we talked about in the video there and referred you back to here to do it with the calculator. We will talk about how to do a 3x3 matrix in the pre-calculus vector video about cross products. So you can always refer to that one if you want to talk about how to do it by hand. But here's how the calculator works. And we wouldn't use this for a 2x2 because 2x2 is very straightforward. But the idea is we go into our matrix, we go back and redo a matrix A and make it a 3x3. And determinants only work if it's a square matrix, meaning the rows and the columns are the same. So if you're ever trying to do a determinant of a non-square matrix, it's always going to give you some sort of error message. And I'll show you that after we finish this one. So we have -4, 5, 1, and then 3, 0, -2, and then 8, 9, -3. So we go ahead and quit out. So do our determinant of the calculator, we then go back into the matrix screen, and we go over to this middle option that says math. There's a whole bunch of things going on here, but the only thing we're going to use is that first one, DET, for determinants. And then we go back into our matrix. What is our determinant of matrix A? And gives us a -80. All right. And again, this has to be a square matrix because if I go back in and so B is currently a square matrix. Let's make it not. Let's say it's a 1x2. So now it's not a square matrix. We'll go out of there. We'll do our determinants for that matrix B, our non-square matrix, and it gives us error, invalid dimensions. Has to be, and it says the screen in here down the bottom says inverse square matrix only, so it has to be a square matrix. So that's how you do your 3x3 determinant. You can also do this for a 4x4, 5x5. Again, any square matrix, though for our class, we're only gonna have to worry about 3x3s. All right, one more example to talk about how the matrix, we'll be using the matrices for our multiplication and our solving process. And that'll be our inverse solving. All right, so our last example is using the matrices to solve the inverse matrix equation. Again, we talked about how to do this by hand over in, our matrix units for the pre-calculus videos. But we can also let the calculator do the work for us, especially if it's a more complicated one. So we're going to do it with a simple system, as you can see here on the left. So we're going to create matrix A and B. Matrix A was the coefficients of the numbers in front of the X and Y. So we go into our matrix, second matrix. We're going to go ahead and create our matrix A, which we know is a 2x2 matrix. Our numbers are the 2, -5, and then -5 and 4. That's matrix A. And then matrix B was our 2x1 solution matrix. The numbers at the end of the equation, the 1 up top and then -11 on the bottom. So, and we can see that the solution, the values that we're going to get for X and Y, the variables, is the inverse of A times B. Again, it has to be that particular order. Inverses also only exist for square matrices anyway, so we couldn't do an inverse of B. So the way we do the inverse in this calculator is very simple. So we get to our second matrix, select matrix A, and then we press the X -1 button. That does our inverse. And then we multiply it by matrix B. We hit enter, and there's the solutions. The variable X is equal to 3, and the variable Y is equal to a +1. All right, so that's all the different things we'll be using our matrices with our calculators at least. Everything else is going to be done by hand, so make sure you're comfortable with that process. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.